It's me. It's my face. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna be in my videos. Just makes it easier to edit. So, I bet you're wondering, wow, I thought you just stopped doing YouTube because it's been months, Claire. And for the few people who do watch my videos, yes, it's true. It has been a long time. What can I say? Depression is horrible. So, yeah, it's just gonna be when the videos are done, they're done. There's one I've been working on for a long time, and hopefully, with some live footage, it will also be done shortly. But anyway, this video is not about that video or any other videos. This video is about Snow White. And excuse me for not looking directly at you, but I'm going to look at myself before you guys do. So I know I'm looking right, okay? I'm kidding. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Snow White because it had been long told to me that she was in fact like 13, something disgusting. Disgusting. So I had to do some digging because I needed to find out how old Snow White really was. Because otherwise, this movie is gross. So Snow White is really two people in our world. She has the body, that's Marge Champion, and she's got the voice, which no one likes. Disney didn't even like. Yet he still hired her. Must have been desperate. And the voice is Adriana Caselotti. You know what? I might be saying it wrong, but I'm not Italian, didn't study Italian, so I have no idea, people. But she's Italian. And her mother's an opera singer. And I just hope she didn't sound like Adriana, because, oh my God, worst princess singing voice ever. And I can tolerate like the voice, her talking voice, but the singing voice, it's like, karaoke, gargling water, and opera. And I don't think that's a good combination for someone.
And away to his castle we'll go.
So anyway, we have March Champion, 18. The body is 18. The movements, 18. And then we have the voice. She 21. She 21. So the animators thought her voice was too old for Snow White. And Walt was like, she's a terrible singer and her voice is annoying. And I'm like, how did she get the job then? There were plenty of people who just weren't working and wanted to be in Hollywood. But they settled on Adriana. She didn't get a credit though, so. And he really didn't want her voice to be anywhere else. So he was really weird about that and not hiring her for anything. Whereas Marge, she got hired for other body modeling gigs, like for the Blue Fairy in Pinocchio. But Adriana, her days were done. She's not even recognized as Snow White. Marge is.
Some of you may be familiar with the name Marge Champion. She's a living legend of Hollywood's golden age, but I bet you didn't know that she was also the model for a classic silver screen cartoon character. CBS News correspondent Michelle Miller has the story this morning of the real-life Snow White.
Adriana didn't get anything. So Snow White is comprised of these two women, And that kind of lends to her personality. When we can think about how Snow White interacts with the world, this also is a result of her age. Now, to me, Snow White is not a teenager. And that's mostly because, like, what were 1930s teens like? A lot of them were getting ready for marriage. The median age of marriage in the 1930s was 21. They were ready for marriage at 21. It could be said that the 18-year-olds of the 1930s had a certain maturity about them. And I would argue that Snow White, in our age, I'm a millennial, in this day and age, she is more like a 35-year-old woman. Why do I say that? Snow White is very mature. I know. She's kind of considered like a child with no ambition. But that's to people who don't really watch the movie. Like, if you just kind of have it on in the background, you're like, oh yeah. She's like, oh, someday my prince will come. Yeah. We get it. Okay, he gonna come after you die. We just waiting for you to die. But no, Snow White is quite mature. And we can see in how she interacts with the dwarves. She immediately, even before meeting them, takes on the mother role. She's like, these boys need a mother. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to clean this. And we going to clean it the right way. Animals. Stop sweeping it under the rug. And when she met them, she talked to them like they were children in some way. Like she was very impressed with Grumpy.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
She was not impressed. Basically, she was like, look, I'm older than you. I know better. Y'all little men, you're acting like little children. And she treated them as such. Even making them wash their hands slash bodies, couldn't tell what the direction really was. But they washed even their clothes. It was just all at once, all of it at the same time. She took on a mother role, caring, and even like sending them off to school. Work. Sending them off to work at the mines. And they were like, you know what? You take care of yourself. Be careful. She's like, bye, honey. you know, to all of them. She's like, I got it. I'm in charge. I take care of this house. That's my house now. Like, that's how Snow White is presenting herself. Not like a child, not like a teenager. For example, Dorothy. The Wizard of Oz came out 2 years later after this movie, and Judy Garland was 17 at release. If you look at Dorothy and you look at Snow White, these two characters are not the same. Snow White is vastly more mature. Dorothy, she is so whiny, so like, somebody help me all the time. All the time she's like that. Throughout the whole story, like this girl is helpless. In the beginning, she's complaining to Aunt Em that someone wants to kill her dog. Yeah, we get it. Everybody loves Toto. But, girl, handle it. Take her on. No, I'm just kidding. Like, it's just a whining and complaint until, like, Aunt Em is just like, get out of my face. I don't care. And she's like, okay. Then has the audacity to run back home when there is a tornado. And she keeps running toward the tornado. And She takes her time trying to get to the cellar. Like, what is this girl doing? She cannot be responsible for herself. Now, Snow White, let's look at her. She was taken out to pick some wildflowers. Then the hunter about to stab her in her back. And then he was like, I can't do that. Like, run, run for your life, Snow White. And she's just like, oh, okay. Didn't think about it. Didn't take off her heels. She just started running. I mean, she ran into some trees. Like, this girl didn't know where she was going. But, what can you say? You just found out that you almost were assassinated, and your stepmother really, really doesn't like you. She wants you dead. So I can't fault her for breaking down into tears and having kind of almost a psychotic break in that forest, because she really thought some things were after her. They weren't. They weren't Snow White. Those were just trees. They didn't have any leaves. And then she asked for help with some animals, and they seem to understand whatever she's talking about, and she stumbles upon a house. And basically, she decides, I'm going to live here now. And she sets up shop, and she cleans it all up and takes care of house, like really makes it a whole home. And even doesn't freak out when the little men come back. She's just like, I've been waiting. I'm Snow White. She is not afraid. Like, she's not even afraid when she talks about why she's there. She's like, the queen tried to have me killed. And they're like, why would you bring her to us? She gonna kill us too. Why you up in here? She gonna kill us all. She's like, whoa, chill. She don't know where I am. This is the difference between Dorothy, teenager, Snow White, woman. Like, she just knows who she is. I mean, she knows what she wants. That's for her prince to come. She is naive. You gotta have flaws. She knows how to adult. Like, for real. Not for play, like my generation. She adults for real. And we have the audacity to look down at Snow White and be like, all you do is dream about a prince, and all you do is wait to be rescued. No, she ran away and started a new life with these little men. She wasn't waiting for a rescue, but she did want that prince to come back. Where's she gonna go to look for him? She don't know anything about him. He jumped over her fence to come talk to her. But Snow White, she's simple. Don't get me wrong. Clearly, I will support our simple princesses, though I also don't like her voice. All she wanted was to get back to that boo that she ran into. She's like, hold on, who is this? Like, it's literally the next day she was taken. Like, she was thinking she was going to be in the castle. He going to come back. They're going to keep dating or whatever. And instead she goes picking wildflowers. She picking flowers for him, because that's why she's singing his song. And if it wasn't for the assassination, she would go back and be like, all right, can't wait to see my boo this weekend, because he's going to come through. Like, it took a year, a movie year. They did a montage with words. You probably didn't pay attention because it was words. They did a montage, and a year went by. She'd been dead a year. And he was looking for her because he was also very much into her. I mean, probably wasn't a lot of people to just stumble upon and be like, wow, I like their singing voice, especially hers. Who's going to like that? Okay? This was her one shot, and he loved it. He was like, I'm going to sing with her. I'm going to go over the fence and sing with her. So, of course, this is the best Snow White could do, okay? And everyone's trying to take that away from her. I know. I heard about the remake. So with Snow White changing to be Girl Boss of the Year because it's refreshing, I don't know if changing all of the princesses to be one princess, one personality is refreshing. It's not. All the new Disney princesses are like, my hobbies are to run shit. And my plot point in this movie is to usurp the throne. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm circling my point here. Snow White is mature. Like, clearly, Disney put most of his energy into the dwarves. So, yeah, Snow White's a very simple character, and she never really stops becoming naive. That's just going to be her eternal flaw. I'm sure she may have learned better after she died, but we don't know. She didn't carry it into her relationship. She just got on the horse and said, bye, I'm moving to another castle. Anyway, my point is Snow White in 1930s time is vastly more mature than the teenager of today. She was never 13. That was a Brothers Grimm thing. That's where that came from Brothers Grimm and people estimating her age based on the length of time she spent with the dwarfs and when she was kidnapped. But none of that exists in this movie, so it's irrelevant. She is not 13. Based on the age of Marge and Adriana, she's somewhere between 18 to 21. But in our day and age, she is the maturity of a 35-year-old millennial. This woman is ready for marriage. She knows what she wants. She is stable. She can take care of herself, not like Dorothy. Dorothy can't take care of herself. Snow White can. Snow White is an adult. And pay attention to Snow White. Like, you actually have to watch it. You can't just like put it on in the background. I swear. The movie hits a little different if you actually pay attention to even the things Snow White says, to what's happening, to the gags. Like, this is not a talking animation like most modern animated movies are. This is not reliant on a script. It's required for you to use tus ojos. 'Tis you. Your eyes. And watch the movie. And that's all I gotta say, really. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing my crazy face as I talk to myself. It's okay, it's like you're in the room. I'm talking to myself and you're like off screen somewhere, okay? I'm having a conversation with myself and you're just here to like listen. Because of course it is like a one-way type of thing. You see and hear me, and I never see you. And I can't hear you either. But if you want me to hear you, please leave a comment. Do you think Snow White is 13 based on the Brothers Grimm version that people guesstimated? Or after rewatching, do not come here and start typing down in the comments without watching the movie. I want you to rewatch it first. After rewatching, how old do you feel Snow White is? So let me know. And there should be another video soon after this one. Don't be surprised if I'm still wearing this sweater, because I might be. Because I'm doing it in the same night and too lazy to change clothes. Thanks. Bye.